Let's continue.
State, like, very clearly, yes or no, was that expert here to participate in anything surrounding the care of the President of the United States?
So let me just say a couple of things. We have had a comprehensive, and I just want to take another step back, comprehensive physical examination. The President has had that. We've given a comprehensive report. We've shared that the past 3 years. Every year that he has had this exam, he sees a neurologist. Just to give you a quote from that, from the report most recently in February, an extremely detailed neurological exam was again reassuring in that there were no findings which would be consistent with any cerebellar or other central neurological disorders such as a stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or ascending lateral sclerosis, end quote. So that came directly from in February in that comprehensive report that was provided by the President's doctor to me that I share with all of you. So anyone who is watching can certainly go to our website.
The question, which was this expert's visits, was multiple visits to the White House pertaining at all to the President's care?
Well, here's the thing. I've said he has had three. He has had three physicals. In those 3 physicals, that's when he has seen a specialist, a neurological specialist.
I think a lot of theory leftists think you're not a real leftist because you don't exactly call yourself a ML or a Maoist or a Trotskyist. They think you're just a basic social democrat or Dengist. Good. That's great. Those guys are genuinely off-putting for the broader majority of Americans. That's the point. No, great. That's awesome. I'm a propagandist. That means I'm doing my job correctly, doing what I think is best. Also, Trot being mentioned in that is pretty funny.
I have to be super mindful here, and this is why, and I'll explain this to you in a second. There are thousands of military personnel who come onto this White House. Many of them get the care from the White House medical unit, and so need to be super careful. There are, the medical unit hosts a wide range of specialists, from dermatologists to a neurologist, and so I cannot speak to every person because there's actually reasons to protect their privacy. We respect and protecting people's privacy, so do not want to share. I'm not going to share people's names from here, but the President, I can tell you, has seen a neurologist 3 times as it's connected to a physical that he gets every year that we provide to all of you.
That's a very basic, direct question.
Wait, hold on, wait a second.
8 times, or at least once, in regards to the President specifically.
Hold on a second.
That's what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed,
popping off.
Please, a little respect here, please. So every year, around the President's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you.
So what about the extra 5 times?
That he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist. So that is answering that question.
I mean, it's literally HIPAA. She can't share details legally if she wanted to. That's not true. That's not how HIPAA works. She's not a medical professional. HIPAA just means medical professionals can't leak the details of your medical history to other people. Like, people just don't know what HIPAA is, and they just like say it all the time. Marjorie Taylor Greene famously invoking that as well, like about her own medical history. That's ridiculous. 98% of people that invoke HIPAA don't understand how that works. If you asked Biden himself to reveal his medical records, he could say, "Oh, I'm invoking HIPAA," but that's not how that works. Like, that's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. You're
Dr.
asking me.
Cannard, come to the White House.
But I also said to you, Ed, I also said to you, for security reasons, we cannot share names. We cannot share names. We have to.
Others he would have met with.
We cannot.
You can share names in regards to if someone came here in regards to the President.
We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have to protect. I understand that.
I hear you. It's right there for anyone to see.
Ed, I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy. And I said, no, he did not have a medical exam, and I still stand by that. Matter of fact, the President still stands by that. He had a verbal check-in. That is something that the President has a couple times a week.
Now in regards to Dr. Kevin Cannard.
And I am telling you right now that I am not sharing confirming names from here. It is a security reasons. I am not going to do that, Ed. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me. I'm not going to confirm a name. It doesn't matter if it's even in the log. I am not going to do that from here. That is not something I am going to do. What I can share with you is that the president has seen a neurologist for his physical 3 times. 3 times. And it is in the reporting that we share a comprehensive reporting. Matter of fact, it's more than what the last guy shared, and it is in line with what George W. Bush did. It's in line with what Obama did. And so it is comprehensive. It is out there. I just read a quote from it. But
I don't think Biden has early onset Parkinson's, dude. I think he has Alzheimer's. Like, I know that he's like met with a neurologist. I think he has like met with a neurologist 8 times. Like, this is the reason why they're grilling her right now is because of the report that just came out. Where is it? It was in my... Oh, here it is. Breaking news from the New York Times. A Parkinson's expert visited the White House 8 times in 8 months from last summer through the spring, according to official visitor logs. The administration has said that President Biden has no signs of the disease. The White House said President Biden had met with a neurologist only 3 times in more than 3 years in office, but it would not say whether the visiting expert was consulting with the president's physician about his health. Early Parkinson's is balance issues and forgetfulness, not the shakes. That's later. Yeah, this part is also important. I saw this as well. Unmentioned in the New York Times piece, Biden had just signed a major Parkinson's bill into law a week ago. Obscured by the copy at the very end of the 8-month period, Biden's physicians publicly reported no findings consistent with Parkinson's. I don't think he has Parkinson's. We are constantly told during med school that a more sensitive test is to ask family members if they have started noting memory and judgment about personality lapses. By the time you're showing active Parkinson's disease, everyone would know he has Parkinson's. Yeah, I don't think he has Parkinson's. I'm telling you right now, it's probably Alzheimer's or a stroke. No, Biden has had a stroke like literally 40 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Biden had a stroke 40 years ago, chat. That's like not even a secret. That's public. People just don't talk about it, but like that is a real thing that happened 40 years ago. No, the reason why he's behaving like this, in my opinion, and I'm not an expert by any means. Oh yeah, he had 2 strokes actually, I think. But anyway, yeah, his strokes are older than like 90% of this chat. A stroke in his 30s? No, a stroke in his 40s. Biden is not 70 years old. So yes, Biden getting a stroke 40 years ago would not mean that he got a stroke in his 30s. It would mean he got a stroke in his 40s. Isn't that crazy how old he is? It's crazy. Anyway, check this Edgar Mentum tweet. Brutus supporting Caesar. I've said from day one that I support Caesar and I back his consolidation of power. Brutus and other senators to meet with Caesar this evening to discuss path forward. That's funny. Oh no, did you see this? Did you not see this? It just came out. Yeah, AOC says Joe Biden is our nominee. He's not leaving this race. He's in this race and I support him. Now, what I think is critically important right now is we focus on what it takes to win in November because he's running against Donald Trump. Trump is a man with 34 felony convictions that have been convicted of 34 felony crimes and not a single Republican has asked for Donald Trump not to be the nominee. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. I personally, maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is for a very particular reason. Dude, it's a very silly thing to say. Like the Republicans haven't demanded Trump drop out. Why would they?
Spoken with him extensively. He made clear then, and he has made clear since that he's in this race. The matter is closed.
I don't know why she's diving on a sword here, because like you have a very like vibrant, young, progressive base of support. I think it's like ridiculous to take it to this length. In a situation like this, you're just supposed to be like, yeah, I think that, Biden is great. Progressives are closing ranks so they don't get blamed when whatever happens. Exactly. Dude, chat, does this not seem as odd to you? I know you're going to say, oh, AOC is like classic Hasan defending AOC or whatever, but does it not strike you as even a little bit odd that all of the top institutionalist Democrats are demanding Biden drop out one by one, and all of the progressive Democrats are not saying he drop out? I personally think that's a little odd, because before you say she's signaling that she's going to be a major centrist Democrat, like this person is, AOC has no future being progressive. Dems warned her years ago. So if that's the case, why are other centrist Democrats actually signaling that Joe Biden needs to drop out? Do you think Nadler and Adam Schiff and even Nancy Pelosi are like radical progressives actually lapping AOC from the left? Is that what we're thinking? Like, why? Why are they the ones saying Joe Biden needs to step aside? Because there's a difference between me saying, like I'm repeating myself again. When I say Joe Biden needs to drop out, no Blue Anon, blue MAGA supporters are going to listen to me. They have already made their minds up about the fact that, oh, God damn it. This is like a triple debate. That sucks. You could just say nothing. I agree. I don't think she should have said this. I don't think she should have gone this far. My conspiracy is that old DNC dudes want Biden to step down for someone who's more right than Biden. Who the fuck is more right than Biden? Henry Cuellar? He has a FBI case against him. Like, what? I can't wait for AOC to come back on the broadcast so we can tell her to stop being an electoralist. Yeah, John Fetterman. The Democrats are going for the impossible run. Can we actually put someone who is visibly, cognitively more diminished than Biden at the top of the ticket? His name, John Fetterman. Can we find the one person that is more demonstrably cognitively diminished than Biden, who is also somehow, and they thought it was impossible, more pro-Israel than Biden? They were like, we really want the one guy. Not even in the Republican Party are they dick riding Israel as hard as Biden has. We need the one guy. The Democrats are going for this epic run where they get 3 votes total. Hakeem Jeffries, yes, I make clear to the day after the debate I publicly support President Joe Biden and the Democratic ticket. My position has not changed. Oh, I still think Biden is too young for the president. This is scary. This feels more like they're gonna let Biden do his thing and get his freak on. Maybe she knows who the alternative is to Biden and is a Liz Cheney type figure or even Nick Haley. No, you guys are crazy. Did you explain why progressives are saying they're with Biden and centrists are calling for him to step down? Yes, I personally think, I might be totally off base on this, but I personally think that they're letting senior party apparatus deal with this. But Hakeem Jeffries saying this is actually a little bit different than AOC saying it. But I personally think that the reason why they're doing this, my speculation is the reason why AOC is saying, oh yeah, Biden is my guy, or Summer Lee is saying, I don't want to talk about this any further, I don't know, Biden is the guy, is partially because like they're letting older establishment Democrats that have been involved in the party. Yeah, I mean, this is what I said too. Exactly. Someone pointed out that it's smart that the squad is sitting this one out. Someone is me. He's talking about me. That Rashida Tlaib calling for Biden to resign is a guaranteed way to unite the Dems behind him. Makes sense to me. The moderates helped create this mess. Let him deal with it. Yeah. The progressive wing coming out and being like, I hate Joe Biden. He shouldn't run would literally, I think, get the establishment Dems, or at least like the holdouts at this moment, to reconsider it.
Had reiterated that this morning. He has reiterated that to the public. Joe Biden is our nominee. He is not leaving this race. He is in this race, and I support him. Now, what I think is critically important right now is that we focus on what it takes to win in November, because he is running against Donald Trump, who is a man with 34 felony convictions that has committed 34 felony crimes, and not a single Republican has asked for Donald Trump to not be the nominee. I'm here to win on this democracy. I'm here to win in November. And what's critically important is what the president, I believe that the president needs to do, and I have communicated this, what the president and the White House should do in order to make sure that we win in November. And that is making sure that we pivot and working and increasingly commit to the issues that are critically important to working people across this country. How are we going to expand Medicare? How are we going to expand Social Security? How are we going to...
She went far and beyond what she needed to say, kind of worrying. I agree. I think so too. It's not progressive voters who need convincing, it's blue MAGA, and the ones who are most likely to listen to her old ass establishment Dems. Yeah, I think she's like going above and beyond defending Biden here, and she could have had like a middle of the road approach to it.
How are we going to provide relief to people's rent and mortgages? And if we can do that and continue our work on student loans, secure a ceasefire, and bring those dollars back into investing in public policy, then that's how we win in November. That's what I'm committed to, and that's what I want to make sure that we do.
What do you members done right now? To see more from the president.
Well, that is all up to their own individual, determination. I respect everyone's opinion, but I'm here to make sure that we win in November, and that's my focus.
And what about young voters? What about young voters?
I don't think this is strategic. She's actively defending him. Even DNC leadership isn't saying this. I agree. So you're saying they don't want too much chaos to show and AOC's base be riled up against Joe, or did I misunderstand? No. My suspicion, and again, this is pure speculation. I don't know anything you don't know, but it strikes me as odd that moderate Dems, establishment Dems, Democrats that have been in Congress before AOC was even born, are literally saying Brandon needs to step down because he's going to lose, and AOC is outflanking them in her Biden support. That strikes me as very odd. I think that she has nothing to lose by being a party loyalist in this situation, or not party loyalist, but like a Brandon loyalist in this situation, because ultimately, if the progressives start chirping about Biden, it's a very easy way to negatively polarize in support of Biden. She probably, I suspect it's so that they don't have like a finger to point to be like, see, the radical leftists are trying to get Biden out. This is why we have to keep him in. Even though I do think that this is maybe due to her lack of experience. I don't know what it is, but it is above and beyond in comparison to other progressives that have like not really said anything or stayed aside or stepped aside in the conversation. She's like greatly overselling it. Make no mistake, the foundation of our democracy is at stake at this election. Any reporter or pundit who is asking about or talking about the aftermath of President Biden's debate performance and his health should also be spending the same amount of energy talking to the Republicans about why they're still supporting convicted felon Donald Trump. Republicans should be calling for Donald Trump to step down as a candidate for president. I guess that's like the talking point that they're going with. The press should be covering for the American people the dozens of lies he told at the debate. Pramila Jayapal more so just focuses on Donald Trump in this conversation and doesn't really say much about like whether Brandon should step aside or not. Again, Pramila Jayapal, Progressive Caucus member, so obviously, or the head of the Progressive Caucus. So for her, she's not saying the same things that you hear from Nadler, that you even hear from like Nancy Pelosi at this point has said more questionable things about Brandon's reelection or his mental faculties in AOC. It's odd. That's all I'm saying. No, you're right. She doesn't want to make waves so the left doesn't get blamed. I think it's probably to cover her own bases. It's a win-win if she just supports Biden instead of, I mean, she's playing politics. It's a win-win if she supports Biden and Biden stays in power and doesn't step aside. And if Biden doesn't stay in power and steps aside, nobody's going to be like, oh, I can't believe AOC defended Biden. Her position across the board as a progressive, as a way more progressive member of the Democratic Party implies that like she stands to gain if Biden is out regardless. I do think that ultimately it is, she went above and beyond in a way that she shouldn't have. Like she should absolutely not be talking about like how awesome Biden is and how everyone's ridiculous for saying Biden is like mental faculties are not working. That's why Pramila Jayapal has like less of a consideration about Biden's mental situation or his or whether he should step aside or not, and more so about like Trump is bad, because you can copy paste that statement to whoever becomes the candidate. Anyway, Dean Phillips vindicated. Oh, absolutely. Jank, dude. This is like the clearest vindication for Jank. Oh, here's the other thing. In complete awe, they've managed to do this type of identity politics with an old cishet straight white man. Black folks know what Biden should step aside really means. Biden should step aside. Coded language, English. If something happens to Biden, we don't want that black woman to be president. What? But people are saying Kamala Harris is the most likely candidate. What? This broke my brain a little bit. Let's finish off this Karine Jean-Pierre situation, and then I'm gonna take a brief moment to talk about the sketch situation, which is like created a shit ton of homophobia in this space, but with some surprising defenders of sketch against homophobia, as a matter of fact, and against sex work in general.
I am not going to devolve somebody's name or confirm someone. I'm not going to do that. That is as privacy for that person. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me from here. I'm just not going to do that. It is inappropriate. It is not acceptable. So I'm not going to do it.
Not about the name.
Go ahead.
If you cannot confirm the name, can you confirm whether or not the president has seen this Parkinson's specialist? And you mentioned 3 times, but the visitor logs show a duration of 8 visits over 8 months. I think that is the crux of the question.
But I also said there are thousands of military personnel that come to the White House, and they are under the care of the medical unit. They are.
So can you confirm that the Parkinson's visit?
Yeah, they're treating our beautiful soldiers in the White House in secret, and that's why she can't reveal this information. That's right. The White House is actually secretly a hospital for some of our bravest military members.
Is it specialist visits were for the president or not?
What I can tell you is that the president has seen a neurologist 3 times, and I read to you what the neurologist has said, and I read to you the last line. I could say it again. No findings which would be consistent with any cerebellar or other central neurological disorders such as stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or ascending lateral sclerosis. That is from February. That is coming from February. That is what the medical unit, the president's doctor, shared. And I said to you, it's happened 3 times. Each time there is a physical that occurs and we put out a comprehensive report, that is when he has been able to see a specialist. So that's what I can share.
Question on this. Has the president, you mentioned Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, all of these things. One diagnosis that we have heard of, potential diagnosis, is hydrocephalus, which is fluid buildup in the brain. It's something we've never heard in any of the medical reports. Is that something that the president has been evaluating?
If it's not in the medical report, obviously it's not something that the president is dealing with. Well, I can tell you this.
Well, does that mean he's dealing with Parkinson's then? Because that is in the medical report. President Biden draw a clock challenge, impossible difficulty.
Just going back to Parkinson's for a little bit, so to give you some answers here, has the president been treated for Parkinson's? No. Is he being treated for Parkinson's? No, he's not. Is he taking medication for Parkinson's? No. So those are the things that I can give you full-blown answers on, but I'm not going to confirm a specialist, any specialist that comes to the White House out of privacy.
Question is, will the president go to the Hill today? I know we saw his letter. Is he intending to have this conversation face-to-face with him?
So look, the president, obviously this is someone who is a senator for 36 years, who was the president of the Senate as when he was vice president for 8 years, and he truly respects the members of Congress, and has always and will always do that, especially as a former senator. And I will say, and you've heard us say this before, or most recently.
Why are we having a Parkinson's discussion about the president? Isn't that alone kind of up? He's not the first to have like serious brain issues on the job. There was another second-term president who very famously also had dementia in office. His name, Ronald Reagan, and we all know how great he was.
This is a president who's won the primary, right, by 14 million votes, 87% of those votes.
Dude, there was no primary. Please stop bringing up the primary. That sounds so stupid. That's the worst kind of cope, dude. It really me up to hear that. Like the absolute worst kind of cope. Oh, he won the primary. Yeah, he didn't run against anybody. What are we talking about? Yeah, he won 87% of the vote. 13% went to uncommitted.
Certainly. And look, I don't have any engagements to read out, outside of that. But I will say that the president was in Pennsylvania. I just mentioned at the top, he got to see Senator Fetterman, Senator Casey. He also got to see Congresswoman Dean. He spent some time with them. They traveled across Pennsylvania. And I will say, when the president gets knocked down, he gets back up. This is quintessential Joe Biden. And there are a long list of other congressional members who have shown their support for this president. I don't have anything else to read out. You saw the letter. The letter was, I think, pretty clear on where the president stands, and I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. You've noted that there are thousands within the Walter Reed system who may be treated by a specialist who visits here at the White House, but this neurologist had a meeting with the president's physician, with his doctor. You're refusing to say if he was here to evaluate the president or if he was consulting on the president's health. So what then was that meeting about?
And I will say that Dr. O'Connor leads the medical unit. He's literally.
I think it's pretty crazy that we went from, oh, we'll put a carcass in charge. We'll get this carcass across the finish line in 2020 to like actually putting a carcass over the finish line, like literally this time. Like I we were joking about his like deteriorated capacity and all this stuff, but like now it's crazy. Like it's just like this administration is adamant of pushing him past at least the convention, so it's impossible.
He's literally he leads the medical unit. No, because we will not confirm or speak to names that you're providing to me. It is out of security reason, is out of protecting someone's privacy. We're just not going to do that. But they are. The reason that I mention that is because there are 1,000 military members that do indeed use the White House medical unit. They do. They get care from that.
We're talking about the president of the United States.
Guys, I'm trying to answer.
Yeah, that's why the Parkinson's specialist met with the president's personal physician in the White House because they were secretly on a mission to fix the Parkinsons of like all of the other brave military members in the White House secretly. Many years down the line, you'll all look so silly. Okay, you'll all look so silly when the Hollywood movie comes out of the White House being used as a secret base of medical operation. Yeah, Joe Biden loves the veterans so much he's personally fixing their brains. That's right. Active duty service members that have Parkinson's, Joe Biden is actually operating on their brains, but he can't tell you right now. They can really own us by having Biden come out and take all these questions himself, wonder why they aren't doing that. Excuse me, Central Committee, Michael from Pennsylvania. Here's John Kirby.
After that, the president will hold a press conference, I guess a big boy press conference is what we're calling it, and take some questions from y'all.
That's what's great. Like this is infantilizing. A big boy press conference for our beautiful big boy. Why is everybody around Biden talking like Biden is a child? It's like that Jill Biden moment all over again. It's like, you did a great job, Joe.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
Congratulations, Joe. You're going to get extra vanilla ice cream tonight. Like they're talking about him like he's a dying dog, dude. He's the best boy ever. He's so big and so brave.
We're working to also set up some additional meetings after.
I mean, that's going to be awesome. Here's Representative Adam Smith calling on President Biden to step aside.
Step aside. I think it's become clear that he's not the best person to carry the Democratic message. And here's the thing. We have an incredibly strong message and record to run on. And in all respect to the president, he's done a great job. Okay, when you look at where the economy was when he came in, how our economy dealt with COVID so much better than any other economy in the world, the progress that we're making, the unemployment rate, stock market. Look, there's a lot of work left to do. Housing's too expensive. Income inequality is still too great. But we've made progress on that too. The lowest black unemployment, black poverty rate came under this president. I saw a report today in the New York Times that some of those areas that have seen the manufacturing jobs flee are actually starting to get better. Okay, and then on the other side, you've got Donald Trump, who's a complete disaster. Project 2025 and his promise to cut taxes more for the rich and corporations while raising tariffs to tax poor people. We got a good message. The president has shown he is not capable of delivering that message in an effective way.
Just because, I shouldn't say just, because that 90-minute debate was a lot, but is this based entirely on that event? No. What is?
There was concerns leading up to it in the terms of the president's ability to deliver a message, and it hasn't gotten better since the debate.
If Biden stays in the race, the liberals are going to get so annoying. The ones like the holdouts are going to be unbearable. Oh my God. Oh my God. Squad member Representative Ilhan Omar, who's critiqued the administration's policy towards Israel, says Biden has our support to remain the Democratic nominee. Outside of a few outliers, I think everyone is supporting the president. What's the harm in just telling Biden that he's the candidate and running someone else? Would he even know the difference? Do you think it's because the Saudi prince took back the orb that Dark Brandon is going insane? Yeah. I don't know. Look, we'll see. Maybe my speculation is totally and utterly baseless. Didn't you have the same plan for Trump? Just tell him he's the president and put a decoy in the White House? Yes. Well, no, my goal was to put him in jail and then, but like put him in jail and then give him complete access to the internet and cameras 24/7. Because he's the best when he has no power, but he's just chirping. He's the best when he's chirping, when he's a petty bitch that has no power whatsoever.